Hey everyone, it's Alisha here at Cosmic Gateway. We are halfway through the eclipse container corridor period, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a mess. I don't know anyone that's not going through the ups and downs of emotions, the feeling like everything's being pulled apart at the seams, or just the absolute exhaustion and fatigue. There's a lot happening, so the energetic overwhelm can feel very intense at times, and also what's transforming within the physical body as well. So it may feel like your body is being pulled apart and put back together again piece by piece, and there's a good reason for that. And I just wanted to come on and share some of my observations for the last week, because it's been heavy, it's been rough, it's been monumental in some of the breakthroughs in what I've been witnessing in the multi-dimensional field coming through. And I guess I just wanted to share some of this energy with you all. This feels like a bit of a, for me personally, I'm back sitting in a location. I'm going to sharing some of the beach scenery. And we've got Parky here. He's enjoying, look, he's falling asleep. He's enjoying his beach time thoroughly. So currently, just for today, on the Gold Coast, on Broad Beach. And for some reason, this place here, for me, and I know for many other people, is a huge portal, an interdimensional portal. There's a lot of cosmic and galactic activity. Going back many years ago, this was the first time I had like huge activations, and where I first got acquainted to the manted beings. But this place holds a very significant key for me on the collective marker of the timeline. This is where I first felt this higher, golder frequency timeline coming in. And I'll talk a bit about that, because I feel like we're reconnecting with part of that threshold of that optimum timeline and what we're heading into as we kind of move through the remainder of 2026. And what it's doing is happening through phases and stages as we're taking down some of the inorganic infrastructure, whether it be through pods, whether it be through beings, whether it be through artificial architecture and technology. It's all happening in a very strategic unraveling. Like each piece has to get taken down bit by bit by bit. And so what is coming up right now, I'll be talking about more in detail for the soul activation that I'll be hosting at 10 a.m. On Friday the 28th of August, and that's Brisbane, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And this one is for the restoration of right relationship, which is a huge topic. It's a huge energy that's coming up to the surface, and it's only just begun. It's going to be very heightened for the next couple of months, so September, especially into October, November. We've done a lot of the dirty work cleanup in the restoration of the right relationship, but now it's going to be, the energetics have been kind of completed as one of the phases. So as we move through the next 3 months, that's where it's really going to be hitting home in the physical. So it's being asked to essentially put your best foot forward and be the living embodiment of your highest frequency when it comes to your own internal right relationship with self, and how that's reflected in the outer world is going to be showing up very clearly. So the external reality, or the mirror, is going to be reflecting into you in every moment of where you can keep coming into a realignment with self. So don't look at it as a punishment, but what things are going to be really blaringly obvious is where things have been unfair, out of balance, not in, coherence with the truest version of you that's trying to be like restored within. So it's actually a really powerful time to get realigned and empowered. But it may require a lot of reevaluation, internal reflection, adjustment, the readjustment period, but all for good cause, because what we're moving into is absolutely magnificent. I keep getting hits of these waves of like gold energy coming in, this what I call like silvery blue energy, the rainbow iridescence, like it's all coming into amalgamation. Each one has a representation. That blue frequency is the adjustment of the physical body and the physical manifestation of our own inner technology of how our blueprint and our biological body should come into cohesive alignment or realignment. So we have that coming into play, and I've been feeling and accessing that for the last week in the field, and I can feel my body starting to readjust in profound ways. So that's starting to come available. The gold frequency is the abundance and the anchoring and grounding of that optimum timeline in the physical reality. And then we've got all the new, improved and renewed sense of purpose and ignition, pathways, businesses, projects, collaborations, really coming available to those who want to get connected with that creative or co-creative frequency. But what I want to talk about, and I'll be going into more depth about this on Friday for those who wish to join, is there's been so much in my work and like blaring in my face around what this distorted relationship template looks like. Now, this can be relationship with self, this can be relationship in your closest intimate connections and partnerships, and this comes into like counterparts, but this also floods into families. Like really, it's the distortion energetic overlay that is the kind of what I call the loosh farm energy. It's what pings people against each other, and it has a right all time, especially in weekends. So this is one thing I talk about, but I probably haven't shared enough about. I'm actually recording this on a weekend, but it's what I call weekend energies. Weekend energies is where everything gets heightened and amplified and distorted. So it's in the atmosphere, but it can ripple through people's homes. And I'm sure that I think a lot of people can probably relate to what I'm talking about when I go into depth, whether it's in your own environment or whether it's people around you, people you're connected to, or just in the atmosphere alone. I mean, I lived on my own for many years and I could still feel this energy rippling through. It's the energy of when the stuff comes up for people, the traumas, the wounds, the things that want to reveal, to be witnessed, cleared and alchemized, that are suppressed and not addressed. And so then there's this fusion of coping mechanisms that come through substance abuse, denial, like what's the word I'm looking for? Just sweeping things under the carpet, but the energy's there. It wants to be expressed. It wants to be cleared, but it's used in very, it come up in very dramatic ways. There's a word that I'm looking for specifically. It's not coming through. It's like, no, it'll come back. Passive aggressive energies. It's when people shut down and they're not open to speak or express their truth, and it comes through in very angry or distorted or aggressive ways. Now, what I've read in the field and seen in the field is it starts with people, like obviously anything that's external to us comes through when we have weak points that haven't been traumas, that haven't been addressed, that haven't been cleared. But what happens is when people are in unconsciousness, especially when there's substance abuse or addictions and addictive or toxic behaviors that come in many, and this is not judgment, this is just observation, it exacerbates that energy, and that's where the latch in or the hook in of different beings, entities, and technologies can amplify, and then they siphon and access. It's a looping, it's an energetic looping or Lushfarm looping of siphoning people's life force energy, making them feel drained, depleted, angry, disempowered, hopelessness. And what it does, it pings people against each other intentionally to create more separation, more divide. This is against harmony within the household. It's basically what has been playing out for eons that is clearing, and it's clearing rapidly because the restoration of right relationship and family template is coming in. I mean, these children, I've had my own experiences, and I know many people I've spoken to have had these experiences of these children waiting in the wings that are pressing in. So what it comes down to fundamentally is the new generation that want to be incarnated. They are pushing through for this cleanup to take place. And so they're shining a light on the dysfunction, on the energies, the technologies, but it's also the correction that we need to, the taking responsibility within our own lives and correcting the thing. It's like doing a big cleanup job internally, and then looking and witnessing of where that can be adjusted in recorrecting our relationships, firstly from within, but then in all the important relationships that we have in our lives. It's a huge cleaning house, and I've spent a lot of time in really deep rage and anger and like real big fiery energies coming through, because it's like sometimes that wrathful fire energy needs to kind of ripple through to kind of clear the slate. And just watching and witnessing how it creates so much disharmony and dysfunction in good people. I think that's what gets me. I witness and I see it, and I see it takes people under, it takes them off their path, whether it be off their path in terms of taking them onto a pathway of an unconscious relationship. So they're not right within, therefore they are choosing a frequency match that exacerbates their own internal dialogue of inadequacy or not enough or disempowerment or, deep suppressed, childhood traumas. But they're looping, they're not actually healing, they're looping. I can see and I can witness that. I've been in my own circumstance and situations. So I think none of us are immune to this because we're living in this density. But what I've seen of how these energies and overarching energies control households. Imagine like a gigantic spider being just like on the top of the house, and it's just manipulating and contorting the inverted timeline of reality, and it's creating this synthetic version overlay to manipulate people's interactions with one another, and it creates this like heavy energy. So what I feel is actually going to be taking place over the next couple of months is the masks are falling, because the energetic infrastructure that's hold this disempowered relationship template in place is literally cracking at the seam. It's like the origin point of that has been annihilated, so now it's this unraveling that's going to take place. So it's going to be very revealing. I feel like there's this whole big reveal to show the illusion of the false timelines that have been in place. And that could be quite confronting for many of us as we go through the unraveling of it. But this is not, I'm not making this video to promote fear. I just think it's like we need to be prepared for what's coming down the pipeline so that we can be in the best way to maneuver through it. And so I've been using this fiery energy because I've been seeing it, and like I've had so many, it's a very heightened theme. Pretty much every session in the last couple of weeks has been around this topic of coming back to self, empowering self, and then seeing I'm not in coherence with my current partner or relationship, or I can see where things are out of balance. And it might be that you might be in the right relationship, but the level of energetic fuckery or mismatch or dysfunction has been keeping you not in the highest expression of your love match. So it's the way I've been feeling in the beginning of the week, and I've mellowed out quite a bit since then, but it was like, oh, I see you, distorted relationship template. I'm coming for you. I'm coming to the top. And, thank you for the people who've already signed up and felt the call to join. We're going to be working with this together in that group session so that it can be more accessible in the collective field, so that it creates space for people to start to unhook themselves. So it's such important and sacred empowered work. This is backed off the freedom frequency codes, which was created a huge ripple. So now it's like we're working through each layer of theme and topic that comes through. And I just want to thank everyone who follows along, or to my clients, because that's how things get revealed to me in the field, is through interactions and connections. It's like every piece of the puzzle starts to present a bigger part of the picture. So what we're deconstructing in this distorted sort of relationship template to clear and clean house, to create the space for what's already emerging. And I want to give voice to those that are already embodied that right relationship kind of template, and are, and have been working with it in right relationship, in coupling, because it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of strength, it takes a lot of patience and perseverance. And I know that there are people that are actively living that embodiment within themselves and in their relationship, no matter how challenging it can be at times. So a lot of great things are emerging from that, and that's where we're actually opening every month, every week, we're accessing more of the new harmonic in real time, in physicality. And it's been so inspiring to watch how impactful now energy work is to show up in real time. So there's a real recalibration of the breaking down of the old masculine, distorted template, and I'm seeing this renewed or organic sense of masculine energy re-emerging, and feminine for that matter, but it's been a real sort of, I think it's been hitting the masculine energy for a little period of time now, probably the hardest and the deepest, because they're connected to the physical world, and that's what's changing and rearranging, is bringing it all here in the embodiment of the physicality. That's where we're at, and that's what we're walking through in these next few months. So we're collapsing the final threads of some of these distorted timelines that we've been walking out of since we've been accessing these huge gateways, like ascension gateways. And 2019 was the greatest, the highest peak in the bell curve that we collectively made in terms of right relationships. It was the clearest passage that we held for a little bit, but we couldn't hold it. There was all the energetics that came in, and it's been exacerbated. It's been what we're living through is not the clearest version of reality. There's a lot of overlays, distorted overlays, but they are literally clearing on a daily basis. So it feels really powerful for me to come back here in this very spot, because this is where, sitting on a beach, this same beach, many years ago, I was able to access that higher golden timeline that's now coming into play in the physical. So it feels like there's a little bit of nostalgia, but it's a little bit of like, oh, it, like, we did it. We haven't, we've done it, and it's set in the energetics, but we've still got to walk through it. So we can't, we can't entirely put our feet up and just rest assured. We still have to walk through it with diligence, being the best version of ourselves, and taking good care of ourselves, and being in our truth, in our own authentic alignment. But it's really powerful what I see changing, rearranging, and coming into coherence in real time. So the optimum in right relationship family template, we can and we will be anchoring and living this embodiment of this like co-creative community without the interference of what we've had to endure and all the co-opting. Like, that is what's being resolved at the highest level. So now our role is to embody it, to walk it, to integrate and anchor these frequencies that are coming in, that are becoming available to us, so that we can be the living example of what's possible and let it ripple out into the collective. So I'm truly honored. I feel really honored and blessed to be able to have these insights, but it hasn't been an easy 3-month period. I knew it was going to be grueling. I didn't know it was going to be this grueling, but I feel like this phase is coming into a completion. So what we're going to start to see and witness in the physical is going to be quite profound, but it's going to be different for everyone depending on where they're at in their own recorrecting a right relationship template. But when you apply the energy work and the unraveling of all the different cords and hooks and what has been impacting us intergenerationally, which I'll go into more in the thing, that's where we can actually have a much easier, more streamlined approach, rather than just hitting resistance barriers all the time, because that's what it's been like. But the shifts in the energetic are creating monumental openings and pathways in the physical. So if you feel the call, come and join me. If you want to work through this one-on-one, all the details will be in the description box below, but just rippling through and just wanting to share all this with you. I'll be sharing more and more updates as I feel guided and prompted to, but just sending heaps of love to you as we all close out now, coming to the end of August, and September's going to be a whole new ball game. So hold steady. I know it's very challenging and it's a bit of a bumpy terrain as we move through the closing down of the eclipse pathway, but we're doing it, and we're doing it together. So thank you all for what you're moving through. I know it's been exhausting, but we're making huge strides. So much love to you all. I'll connect with you all soon.